Hey warriors, have you ever felt lost or unsettled in life? Well, today we're going to talk about unleashing the warrior within you through the power of Stoic philosophy. Stoic philosophy is not just some ancient concepts. It's a practical approach that can help you overcome challenges in your daily life. Whether you're facing instability, stress, or self-doubt, Stoicism provides valuable tools to find inner strength and peace. In today's fast-paced world, it's easy to get caught up in the chaos and lose sight of what truly matters. Many people struggle with inner peace, constantly seeking validation from outside and trying to control things beyond their reach. Sometimes, strength lies not in fiercely fighting against the enemy, but in accepting and enduring confrontation with intelligence and patience. Perhaps the true secret of victory lies not in constraining and rushing in, but in turning problems into opportunities for learning and growth. When we know how to use softness and wisdom to face challenges, we can overcome all difficulties without being forcefully attacked. Perhaps each person will feel a different sense of failure when missing out on a valuable opportunity. But most importantly, it's how we respond to and learn from those failures. Throughout history, ancient Stoic philosophers have imparted a valuable lesson about the power of the unconquerable. They believed that a person can only truly be defeated when they lose patience and determination to rise again. The only way external things can affect us is when we allow them to. If we feel defeated, it's because we're defeating ourselves. To become unconquerable, we don't need to conquer the world around us, but rather conquer ourselves. This video will explore the Stoic philosophy on becoming unconquerable. How we evaluate external things determines how they affect us, not the things themselves. When we value something highly, we may become attached to it. Achieving what we desire brings joy, which is naturally a wonderful feeling. However, when we cannot attain what we want, we may feel uneasy. And thus, we've let our emotions be contingent on external circumstances. If you fancy someone at work or school and successfully arrange a date with them, you'll feel elated. But when they cancel the date at the last minute, you might feel disappointed and sad. Although experiences like rejection and abandonment may occur frequently in dating life, people's reactions vary widely. Some may simply shrug it off and move on with their lives. Others may become resentful and seek revenge. However, if rejection elicits a strong emotional response within us, we can consider it as a mental conquest. It can indeed affect our emotional state and significantly alter our actions. The same holds true for insults. If minor insults can lead to days of resentment, then the offender has succeeded in conquering the offended party. However, there are much more dignified ways to let others conquer us than resorting to insults or rejection. In life, the effectiveness of these methods depends on the patience and determination of each individual, as well as their ability to endure pain. Stoic philosophers have said that even when faced with the most difficult situations, we still retain our freedom of choice. If we accept the torment that the torturer offers, then in reality, we have accepted being conquered by them. But if we stand firm, showing courage regardless of the extent of the torturer may harm our bodies, but they cannot subdue our resilient spirits. In the lectures of Epictetus, the Stoic philosopher of the 2nd century, we often hear him repeat the importance of the power of human choice, referred to as the moral choice by some translators. No matter how harsh the circumstances, it never diminishes our power to decide our actions or to abide by principles. Epictetus, with the pragmatism of a practical philosopher, explained the power of moral choice by imagining his own response to a threatening tyrant. If he says, "I will chain you," I will say, "You are only threatening my hands and feet." If he says, "I will chop off your head," I will respond, "You are only threatening my neck." If he says, "I will throw you into prison," I will say, "You are only threatening my small body." And if he threatens to exile me, I will react in the same way. Epictetus speaks to the indomitable power of will and spirit. Despite the tyrant's attempts to assert dominance through brutal actions like chaining, beheading, or imprisonment, what matters is not these acts of physical subjugation. What's most important is one's own willpower and spirit, which cannot be governed by any external factors. This demonstrates the true freedom of humanity, independent of circumstances or the control of others. It's a testament to the inviolable strength of willpower and patience, an unparalleled source of inspiration for independence and spiritual freedom. The emphasis is on one's own actions, which only we can change. To remain unconquered, we must be willing to face all challenges. We must be prepared to disregard others' opinions entirely, sacrifice everything, including the essentials, endure harm and use our bodies, along with parting ways with those we love. It's a smooth journey where the mysteries and inner strength are discovered through sacrifice and patience. Every tight bond we have, the inseparable and unwilling to let go things, as well as what we cannot or do not want to endure, can cause agitation and affect our choices. A clear example of invincibility is Viktor Frankl, a psychiatrist and philosopher, who endured 3 years of imprisonment in Nazi concentration camps. This evokes empathy for the suffering and spiritual strength of those who surpass unimaginable challenges. In his book, Man's Search for Meaning, Viktor Frankl recounts the harrowing experiences of Jewish prisoners facing abuse even from their own kin in concentration camps. They had to perform horrendous tasks in exchange for scant food and better treatment from the prison guards. From these experiences, Frankl observed the ease with which humans can accept harsh realities and do whatever it takes to survive, even betraying and treating others unfairly. This highlights a profound insight into human nature and the power of will in extremely challenging circumstances. But there were those who refused to let their circumstances dictate their self-worth, maintaining kindness and compassion in their actions. Thus, despite the efforts of the Nazis through imprisonment, torture, starvation, and extermination, they could not break these individuals. Seneca once said that it is not the difficulty that is the main issue, but rather our surrender to it. This emphasizes the strength of willpower and perseverance in overcoming challenges and upholding one's values. Therefore, a Stoic philosopher would not be troubled by difficulties, meaning they cannot be affected. I quote, "Is there then any evil in torture and in what we call pain? To me it seems there is. The mind gets unnerved, sags, and collapses. But nothing of this sort can happen to the man of good will. He stands firm under any pressure." This highlights the mysterious and invulnerable strength of those with steadfast spirits, unaffected by the malevolent forces from outside. Nothing can make him yield, nothing can disturb him, because he does not fret about being attacked by things that can attack anyone. He understands the strength within him, he knows he was born to face challenges. Of course, the ideal of a Stoic philosopher is a great challenge and almost unattainable. This evokes admiration and encouragement, prompting us to face every difficulty with patience and inner strength. Like any other great skill, becoming invincible according to Stoic philosophy requires training. The ancient philosophers also recognized this, but they encourage us in themselves at least to strive for progress. Furthermore, always being right is a challenge because our rational abilities often cannot control our emotions. This emphasizes the importance of continuous learning and development, along with understanding and being willing to accept imperfection within ourselves. The ancient Stoic philosophers recognized that even before we can intervene, initial emotional reactions arise, and sometimes, even the gentlest philosophers must face this. Therefore, they made a clear distinction between passion and emotion. According to Stoic philosophy, we have the ability to control our passions: pain, fear, desire, and pleasure. But the most ideal Stoic philosophers are those who are not dominated by any passion. This reflects a respect and appreciation for the ability to self-control and mental balance. Indeed, most of us are not saintly philosophers and may occasionally experience passions. Fortunately, even when passion strikes, we still retain the power of choice. Though there may be times when we feel conquered by what has happened and find ourselves collapsing in tears, we can still decide how we will act next. This underscores the importance of freedom and choice in every situation, and it demonstrates a cherished appreciation for the ability to self-determine and self-regulate. Absolutely, it could be said that there are various lines of defense that adversaries can potentially breach, but the ultimate line is our power of choice. If someone crosses that boundary, they have conquered us entirely. Therefore, if we wish to become unconquerable, we must safeguard our front lines. Similarly, the stream of passions can be defended through reason and restraint. This reflects determination and patience in maintaining resilience against every challenge and hidden foe. The video expands on this idea. We can defend the front line we have chosen, or the moral choice, with the same kind of weapons, but it will be slightly more difficult to capture the first line of defense. If the enemy conquers our emotional state, they will influence our decision-making process. This emphasizes the importance of maintaining balance and control in every situation, and encourages us to seek ways to protect our moral frontlines against any attacks. Or when we get angry, we often find it easier to act that way. So, when the enemy steps foot at our doorstep, we need to use our inner strength to protect our ability to choose. This can be seen as our inner power, the ability to make the right decision even when we are overwhelmed by emotions. A clear example of this is in The Lord of the Rings, when Frodo is given an almost impossible task: to take the One Ring to Mordor and destroy it in the fires of Mount Doom. This prompts us to recognize our inner strength and the importance of controlling emotions to achieve great goals. The danger of the One Ring lies in its ability to forge a strong bond between it and the wearer. Thus, the wearer becomes consumed by the ring to the point where they are willing to do anything to prevent parting with it. Frodo becomes increasingly bound to his precious, much like Gollum, who is trying to take it from him. This highlights the danger of excessive attachment and uncontrollable desire, prompting us to reflect on self-management and self-control in all situations. Now, although Frodo ultimately managed to overcome his attachment, he still could carry the ring for thousands of miles, resisting countless temptations. Most other characters would likely have surrendered much earlier, like Boromir. Once again, according to Stoic philosophy, there is only one thing truly conquerable: our ability to choose. This highlights the power of will and determination in facing and overcoming challenging trials, encouraging us to focus on controlling and making choices for ourselves. Everything else is beyond our control and will gradually follow the course of fate. We may lose everything, from possessions to freedom, even our reputation. However, the ability to form opinions, to advocate, to reject, to accept, to control, to communicate, or to remain silent remains entirely within our power. As Viktor Frankl said, when we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves. This honors the strength and self-control of each individual, encouraging us to seek independence and inner strength to overcome all challenges. In summary, applying Stoic philosophy to everyday life can help unleash the warrior within you. It involves honing your resilience, seeking inner peace, and facing life's challenges with courage and wisdom. Therefore, I encourage you to delve deeper into the teachings of Stoicism. Watch more videos, read books, and explore how these timeless principles can change your life. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments below. Let's embark on this journey together and unleash the warrior within each of us.